Yes. I haven't played this game for quite a long time. And as a result, there was some new DLC that was dropped, some new patches that were dropped and stuff like that, and unfortunately I'm not quite sure if it was working or not. Evidently it was downloading some new packages and it required an update on information. Sorry about that. I do sincerely apologize. Okay, so yes, where were we? Right, this is Black Desert. This MMORPG, this fantastic sort of absolutely mind-boggling, mind-blowing, mind-bending MMORPG. First of all, we'll start with character creation. Character creation alone can take you probably 2 to 3 hours into the game without even touching the story. That's how crazy the character creation can be. You can make absolutely stunning people in this game, and I'm talking like next tier stunning. It is unbelievable. It's well and truly just beyond normal means, to say the least. So the first thing you're kind of shown to right now is this, the front screen. Already an absolute overwhelming amount of information here. The key thing you want to draw yourself to is the right hand side, where you've got your servers. Now, when you first start the game up, you may actually be put into character creation immediately, making your character, to then you can choose your server afterwards. Because I've already played this game, it would show me the servers and then I can create a new character. By the looks of it, they've also brought in crossplay as well, so you can play with PC people. Interesting. Didn't realise that was a new thing they're going to bring into this game. I thought it was only speculation at the time. So on the right hand side you see all of the servers. You've got Olivia 1 and Olivia 2 with XP up. These are growth servers. This is, you want a new character, but you want to be able to play with your friends who are currently in the 2nd or 3rd expansion, and you want to get there quickly. Within about 48 hours of, I mean 48 hours of grinding, not 2 days worth of you playing for 8 hours and having to go to work. I mean a actually solid 48 hours worth of grinding to get up to level 50. From that point afterwards, it is incredibly difficult to keep advancing from there, because you start having aspects of PvP as well as PvE elements. Now, the difficulty shoots up not 1 or 2 stages. I'm talking there are leagues different in difficulty from finishing soft cap and attempting to go into these darker reaches. So obviously, just for the aspect of the shadow look here, let's go to Olivia 2, because it doesn't seem very popular, which means we might actually be able to get some decent amount of combat off straight away. I have made a few characters, as you can see. I've got my striker, I've got my ninja, and I've got, I don't know what this is. I still haven't got my head around this yet. It's a weird support attack character. Alright, create a new character. So you have got an absolute metric ton of characters to choose from. That is no lie. You do have a metric ton of characters to choose from. You've got standard warriors, you have got rangers, you have got sorcerers, mages, swordsmen of all different calibers from all different kind of areas of the world also. 1 second, I see there's a comment and I have forgotten to load up the video, because, you know, I'm a dum-dum like that. Yeah, no, honestly, this game has been out for quite some time. It is a PC port, which means you're going to find out exactly what that means and how bad a PC port, if done improperly, and how much tax it will have on your PS4. It is literally ripped directly from a PC client to console use, which means if you are not rocking next gen consoles, I'm suggesting probably PS5 and Xbox and the Xbox X series to be able to run this properly, because you'll actually probably hear my fans on my PS4 kicking up such a fuss, and I will show you the reason why of that. So you have loads of different characters, from mages down to sorcerers, down to, you know, the selection of hunters that actually end up having a secondary animal that fights along their side. Mystics, Valkyries, Kunichi, ninjas, dark knights, wizards, archers, witches. There is a crazy amount of them. Now, one thing you have to realize is there's a male and female variant. So Ranger and Archer are practically the exact same. The only difference would be their awakened weapons. But their initial combat and how they're kind of used is exactly the same. So it'll depend if you want a female or a male based character. If you do have a female based character and you are somewhat one of those gamers that like to dress up their women in very skimpy outfits, this game got you 100%. This game is incredible when it comes down to that sort of stuff. I'll choose a Miwa because this is only going to be a test. It's a blader. Sweet. Should know roughly how to use a character. Alright, so your first thing you're drawn to is appearance. I won't go megally in depth into the character customization and creation of this because, as I said, I've only got about an hour before I have to leave anyway. But yeah, this will be a kind of brief look about what's going on here. If you guys are interested in this game and you kind of want more in depth, I will make a second video based on what awakened weapons are, what's going to happen, where you're looking for them, and generally like the general overlook of what's happening. But awakened weapons is another depth of this game that I'm not able to kind of dull down until you kind of understand the basics. So with hair, you have different types. As you can see from the top right hand corner there is an absolute metric ton of different sorts of bits and pieces that you can end up choosing. You know, different sorts of hairstyles, each one having its own sort of characteristics as well, making your character look interesting and or enchanting. You've got adjustable parts as well. You can change the length of things. You can, you know, you can layer the hair up as well for it to be, you know, length 1 to be shorter. You have to then constantly circle around your character to really find out what you're looking at here, which obviously does make it rather difficult to say the least. You can pan out by pressing the R3 in. As you can see, her hair is quite long at the back and stuff like that as well. You've got, you know, different shapes as well, different curl levels, how sophisticated you can put the curl up. Unfortunately, the general moving of all the bits and pieces, you may not see a difference until, you know, you've fully created your character, or it may not be something that seems very obvious until you end up, you know, confirming your character and it ends up taking it out into the game for everyone else to see also. With different colours, you can obviously have your fringe, your main highlights, or your whole head to be done. So we'll have it as nice pink. Then we'll have this to be the fringe to, there you go, the ends to be a nice green, the fringe to be what's another outstanding colour that really makes look a difference here? Okay, the roots. Right, so then you can turn around your character, and as you can see already, the colour of the hair looks quite intense. Even though it's pretty much a sickly looking colour, but as a whole, yeah, that's pretty much just the hair itself. The face, you've got different face types. So obviously you've got slightly rounder, it's a very fine-tuning sort of design for it. It's more the fact of you looking at your character when it's in low screen and stuff like that. Different skin colours as well. You can make her look, you know, very strange to semi-human to a woman that has come from a completely different world, if you wish to. Granted, you can't make it entirely alienated, but I have seen some interesting designs for this. So you've got different face shapes as well. You can raise hair, adjust parts, symmetry to it all. Again, as I said, you can lose about an hour on just customizing this character. Let's have pink. Let's have the density up. I think that means, there you go. As you can see now, as I'm raising it up, it becomes more and more apparent that she's wearing makeup. You know, you can have it reflecting, you can have it matted, you can, you know, it's like, you know, if she was to have a permanent level of sweat to her face, if you really wanted to. Alright, and obviously you've got eyebrows, your different blushes, lipsticks as well. As I said, I'm not going to go mega into this character because I'm probably going to end up deleting it afterwards anyway. You've got different eyes as well, and you can pretty much do a separate different eye for both sides, allowing it to have different pupils, different opacities, different sizes, widths and areas, different colours. So, you know, obviously the pupil being a slightly different colour to the iris and stuff like that as well. You can change the iris colour of, you know, each different eye. It gets more and more far-fetched the more you want to kind of deal with this character. Now, if you do like someone else's character and you're playing that exact class, you can download and use other people's customizations. It's interesting. It is interesting that you can pretty much you can either sit there and make your own character to, you know, straight up using someone else's. I guess it's all dependent upon if you kind of want to get into the game super quick, or if you want to kind of, you know, actually sit there and attempt to make your character interesting. There you go, her standby emojis, because she's gonna be angry because she realised she's just being used and abused for the aspect of this game. So, yep, you can change body shape into different proportions as well. So you can have her being quite a thick girl to, you know, a skinny girl that you're probably scared at one sneeze where it end up rupturing some organs. You can change her height to being well over 8 foot. She's not actually fitting on my screen. Oh, it's actually pretty cool that, you know, you can make her that tall, freakishly tall. You can reset everything as well if you choose to. You can take a picture at any point of this. You can have muscles that, you know, are extremely ripped, or you can just have, you know, flimsy muscles. I think part 1's her chest, I believe. Part 2 is her abs. I'm guessing part 3 will be her legs, question mark. I'm not actually too sure. Body slamming, body shaming, sorry. Well, it's not so much shaming as I'm creating this monstrosity. Different tattoos as well, so you have full body tattoos. There is actually some outfits out there that, you know, pretty much have you running around butt ass naked, so you can pretty much decorate your character as and where you wish to. Some of this stuff I haven't even attempted to do myself. Alright, and then you've got her voice. They don't really talk in the game, it's more just the fact of overall sounds when they slash and stuff like that. Or when they laugh, you can kind of hear, apparently. It's very, very, I'm not sure if that's louder for you than it is for me, but that is extremely quiet on my end. But yeah, so you have your different attacks and stuff like that, and as a result she has different sounding vocals for all of the excitement that's about to be shown. Oh, those jiggle physics though, that's extreme. Alright, we'll have the hammer because she's getting knocked out of here afterwards. Alright, cool. So that is pretty much the character creation for this. I am not sure if there we go. Right, now you need to make a character name. 15 characters, or between 3 and 15. You can't use any numbers, you can't use the same letter more than 3 times. So we'll call her Shelly. Why? First name that came to my head. Alright, so there we go. Name is Shelly. You have your... Oh, first name needs to be... Really? You have to be that finicky? You also have a family name as well, much like how, you know, in real life we have a first and last name. You have a family name and a first name. Am I allowed that? Name is already in use. Oh, okay, fine. Am I allowed to now use this name? Is that going to be allowed? Tammy Slammy Boys. Mustang. Alright, cool. So we have got Tammy. There she is. So the stuff that you saw at the beginning was one of the skins that you can buy. It's recommended that you do buy a skin, but if you buy the most expensive edition to this, you get a character skin already. The reason why I say this is pay to win is the fact that those skins will give you bonus XP. Again, almost on top of the bonus XP you're getting from this specific server that we're on as well. Alright, let's load up. And this will take me to right to the beginning. Now, I'm not going to do anything that's going to make this character OP, even though everything is account based. So all of my previous characters, armors and weapons and stuff like that, I can put it into a bank. I can go to that bank straight away, retrieve those equipment bits, and power up this level 1 character to be as strong as my level 70 character, for instance. It's the every armor and item, everything is purely account based as well, so you can pick and choose different characters and not have to lose out on too much in the way of defense or offensive capabilities. The only thing that you will have to end up repurchasing though is when you are doing this is the weapons, because okay, you got 2 characters of one class that could be able to use that weapon. So the blader, when I'm using the samurai, you got the male and female variant of that. They can use the same bladed katana, the same horn bow, but I can't give that same horn bow to a ninja or an archer. But the archer has a dagger that you can change over to wizard or witch. So, you know, there is some intermingling going on, so you don't have to worry about just single-handedly. Wow, this part is even tanking as well, because even I'm hearing the audio of this and it's kind of jittery and broken slightly.
Sorry, but you should have known better.
Right. Okay. So tutorial, yeah, we'll have tutorial going on. Fucking Jesus Christ, she is huge. I just... Oh, is she a big girl? I'm not sure I want to know that tall. Okay, shoot. So yeah, this is the first bit. Already, this is completely overwhelming straight away. You have absolutely no idea what's happening, what's going on. You're already thrown into no tutorial. You have this weird spirit talking to you. I think how they've set this game out for new players is positively disgusting, and not in a good way. There is absolutely no guidance. There is no hand-holding. There is no ability to show you what's going on, because as far as RPGs go, this is the first one that has been westernized, that's been brought over to our servers. Don't get me wrong, you can find clients of different PC ones, you know, like Blade and Soul, or indeed a couple of the Chinese ones that have happened, but there is nothing like this that's currently on the market other than Black Desert. So the first thing you have to go and do is select the quest from this guy. There isn't very much in the way of voice lines for this either. There is a few kind of bits and pieces scattered across, but other than that, you kind of have to read everything that's going on. Alright, I won't read any part of this. Again, if you guys want a more in-depth character of me actually running through one of my characters that I'm actually going to pay, you know, a lot of love and affection to, then yes, I will run through and I'll do a running dialogue of everything as well. I'm just kind of doing a brief overview of what this is to expect. Alright, cool. So now we've accepted the quest, we can actually now move as well. Cool. So it does give you a waypoint to go and see, and this waypoint, as you can see here, stretches quite far, which is quite handy. So if you are over a hill or in the distance and you can see this, it means you are slightly closer to where you're meant to be. So let's go and talk to this dingo. You have entered a combat zone. Oh no. They're going to touch me. Right, health potions. They are the necessity gear. You need to carry hundreds, if not thousands, of these things on you. There is no healing in this game. There is no healers in this game. There is nothing in respects of that you can actually really be helping each other. Even though the wizard has a heal ability or spell, it's very much you have to look after yourself. Even though there is certain abilities that can draw enemies' attentions or even indeed just kind of localize a certain bunch of enemies. Alright, cool. So we're done here. Now I need to talk to this guy over here. Oh, apparently I'm going to touch a shrub instead is what I'm going to do. About the artifacts. Yes, a lot of this, as you can see, you have to read it yourself. There's a lot of much of going, you know, to here, to there, back over to here, don't talk to this person over here, do a couple of slash, come back over here. You will... It's a little bit overwhelming to begin with, but the earlier part of the game gets you up quite a few levels without any sort of real sense of danger. Equally, if you really want to and you know what you're doing with this game, you can just completely bypass this beginning area and just go and do something else if you wish to. But when it comes down to actually progressing within the story, you will have to do these story-based quests again at some point. Alright, cool. So we've done this. Now you're going to summon the Black Spirit by pressing... Right, so as you can see with the screen, there is a whole bunch of mess. Let me break it down to something simple for you. Top left hand side, that is your character's life. That is your levels, to how much percent your XP is, to your health, your stamina or magic. Top above that, you've got that sword and axe. That is your combat XP, which is different to your level XP. You have energy as well, which you can increase by doing quests and stuff like that. And you have, again, just to the right of that, you have contribution points. Contribution points is another depth of this game that we will look at a bit later on. Because unfortunately it's a whole nother depth of this game that is a little bit more finicky, and I only recently got to understanding what you're meant to do. Cool, so we'll summon up the Black Spirit. Quests, warm up. We good? Alright, cool. So once you accepted it, now if you look to the right hand side of the screen, you have the mini map, which kind of shows you the short block area of where you are to where you're kind of the area you need to go next to do your quest. It also gives you a localized area of where that quest is going to take place, to what you need to hunt for, look for, or to destroy. Just below that is any ongoing quests that you have. I think you can have up to 6 or 7 shown in the right hand side of that screen, and then you've got button inputs, which are just below that. Now button inputs, it's more of a tutorial based thing, but I think they're pretty much there for the rest of the game. Okay, so I have onwards and upwards, as they say. First thing you need to slash up is some grey foxes. You need to draw your weapon, And the base weapons that you've got currently, the base kind of attacks, is your standard R1, which it also says in the center of the screen what that actually is, the special moves you're using at the time. And then you have also got your chase or your dodge capability. Some of them have got kind of ranged weapons to go along with that too, which allows you to kind of dodge around a little bit. But the cooldowns are also to the center of the screen, so you don't have to worry about, you know, not having any sort of idea of what you're meant to do next. Okay, so as you probably saw there, the Grey Fox has a health bar, and it also has a ranking next to it. You won't have a ranking the moment you fight these monsters. You have to gain that ranking. The ranking means the more knowledge you have on that creature, which means you're able to hit critical hits off that. You're able to find its weak points, which means you're able to kill that creature quicker. So the higher rank you have, the more damage you end up going to do to that creature. Now you can, I think you can press and hold one button and that will go into a combo. So your standing R1 is, you know, just a few slashes we saw there. Oh god, it's already tanking. And then if you really wanted to, you go left and you go right as well, which allows you to have that whirlwind cut, which means you can kind of chain combos and chain kind of moves into one another also. Right, let's mess up another 6 more of these dudes. You also have running in this game, stamina. By pressing L2, you can sprint. And as you can see, sprinting is, well, pretty much a charge. Like, you aren't... it's not very responsive. It kind of handles like an Arctic lorry. Alright, cool, we dealt with that. Sweet, so you press L2 and down, you can... Oh, you can gain quick quest. Okay, that's a new thing they brought up. Move 2, forfeit, learn more, negate. That's, or navigate 2. That's pretty intense. Cool. So it gives you a better understanding of where that quest is, allowing you to quickly jump to another quest that may be in that area or something like that, and it gives you an ability to cycle through without having to go into the main menu, go to that quest, select that quest, and other bits and pieces. Can you minimize the chat? It's taking too much of the screen. I don't know if you can. I have tried many times. Alright, cool, so the next quests. 1 second. Right, okay, so here is the start menu. This is the main menu right here, where everything, you can pretty much access every part of the game that you require to finding out what's in the central market, trade info in different towns, the pearl shop, pets, beauty. The pearl shop is where the most pay to win stuff starts to happen. Okay, so let's go into settings. Display settings, display quality. Oh shoot! Press circle too many times. General settings, I think maybe. Show and hide. Names of others, display party names. Slow clans. Nope, doesn't show. Alerts, marketplace, enhancements, guild missions, obtain an item, language. Well, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Miscellaneous, cross-play. Different platforms, play with adventures and slaying platform. Guide arrow, redact jewels. Still can't find this chat dealio going on. Interface. Ah, chat window settings. Off. Well, we'll just see if we can turn all of that off. Hopefully that means that will stop it being so in your face. Okay, I can't really minimalize it, but it's still slightly better than it constantly keep moving around. You can't having to draw your attention towards it. But unfortunately, no, it does take up a good chunk of the screen up. Sadly. All right, we have now reached the next location. Okay, cool. So, let me show you the Pearl Shop. And the reason why that this game is deemed as pay to win. So you have Pearl boxes. These things are extremely expensive. So the moment you click onto Pearl Box add-ons, it takes you to the PlayStation Store, hence why the screen has kind of gone blue and you can only hear my audio. Right now they have a sale, 20% sale on all of this. Their most expensive box, which is 10,000 pearls, is currently at $52.79. Normal price, $65.99. The one down from that is 6,000 pearls, is $31.99. Original price is $39.99. You can see this game being free to play is, well, I say free to play, you still have to pay for the game as well as paying for all of these sorts of bits and pieces as well. So this game, the moment you step into it, has got its big money grabbing hands and attached it to your nutsack or your ovaries. And it is, yeah, there are some cases where you're forced almost to purchase some bits and pieces just to try and get up to where some of those characters are. So you have what's hot and new, again, what's events on sale, limited, all that sort of jazz. You have your Black Spirit packs as well, traveling, loyalty. See, loyalty is quite good. It means how much you've logged into the game, you get loyalty points. Loyalty points take you to this, and with this you can buy bits and pieces. As you can see there, one of the skins, which is a limited skin, Archer Guard, is 10,000 loyalty points. You have to be playing this game for approximately about a year before you can start getting about 10,000 worth of loyalty points. So if you can, but then again, MMORPGs are quite notorious for being something that you actually have to pay for, play for a long period of time to get anywhere. And you've got functions. Now, this is the reason why I find that this game is bullshit in certain respects, because you can train your character to take more weight, but doing so is 1, extremely long, 2, extremely tedious, and 3, very dangerous unless you're actually paying attention to your character. So with weight, that is how much you can actually carry on your person. So as I said, you need to carry at least 1,000 worth of potions. That potion requires X amount of weight. When you have such an extraordinary amount of said entities, they will weigh your character down. So to purchase, this is also at 20% discount as well. That's nice of them. So you got £250, which is 1,920 pearls. So that's already quite extortionate. But with that, you can pretty much get to maybe the first quarter of the game without having to sell too much. Now, if you want to buy both of these, which I recommend you do if you want to, if you don't want to keep running back to the shop or keep having to drop items or dismantle items and stuff like that, is, again, as a combined, almost or over 3,000 pearls already. And that's only just grabbing these two. Inventory slots, again, something that you're going to need because your bag is extremely tiny. And you've got consumables. The consumables aren't a necessity. It's if you made a slight mistake, you can change something, or you can get energy tonics to allow you to kind of do a certain ability or a certain something for a long period of time. But you can also kind of build up your energy by having multiple characters, hence where you've got quite a few characters you can create and do at any one time. It is recommended that you have about 4 characters on the go at any one time, each one doing something slightly different. You can't have one character doing absolutely everything. You won't have enough energy for that one character unless you're dedicating a lot of time to that one character. Slot expansions, that basically gives you more stable spaces, more worker lodgings. I'll go into worker lodgings and what workers do in another video if you guys are interested in watching another video for that. guild-based stuff as well as miscellaneous. Now, miscellaneous, I do recommend that you do get the branding tome for your equipment. I wouldn't recommend getting the time 6, but with the branding stuff, it means it costs less to repair said item, but you only really want to do that when you've actually got an item that is worth repairing or worth keeping, unless you want to spend countless amounts of money on that sort of stuff. Alright, so now onto the outfits. Now, as you can see here, they are broken down into outfit, into costumes, into other bits and pieces as well. You get a brief little overview of how big her titties are. As you can see of what that kind of thing shows you. So you've got different ones here. Got Red Moon. Different bits and pieces going on. Show details. So here we go. When you have all 8 pieces put together, the death penalty resistance is increased, reduced weapon durability, by consumption by 10% as well. Basically means that you will gain more combat XP, more skill XP, and when you die, your XP that's taken away from you isn't as much. You won't probably die until you get to about level 50. Unless you are extremely reckless. Some characters have certain ways that they can keep themselves alive, and the cooldown for potions isn't that bad. As long as you're keeping on top of your defense points and your attack points, you can kind of get past a good proportion of the game without having to take too much of a worry. Excuse me. Alright, then you've got different costumes, underwear. Now, underwear is quite handy as well, due to the fact of when it's equipped. As you can see here, you have +1 to luck. +1 to luck in this game is a skill that you actually do require a lot of, because there are certain enemies in this game that will drop specific items. Those specific items can raise your AP and DP up quite exponentially, but to get that, it's like 0.1% chance of drop, which means you have to slay at least 100 units of that specific type before you have a chance of getting one item. Higher luck, the higher that 0.01% chance goes up and up and up to allow it to be a 1% chance, or 2% chance, or 3% chance. Depends upon kind of where you're looking at it. Come on, I know good. But obviously with the underwear, you will obviously, this will be covered up anyway by your costume or armor and stuff like that. You won't just be running around, start butt naked. Also, you have also got different sorts of accessories as well. Glasses are quite handy because they have a chance of gaining knowledge by 50%. Earrings are quite handy because they give you higher grade knowledge of 5%, allowing you to, if you keep slashing or keep killing that one enemy type, instead of it just being a random, back when the game originally came out, the grade system had to be reset at a certain town, where now the more you slash it, you have a chance of gaining better knowledge of how to kill that entity, which I think is a better idea than it just being, oh look, I've got an A rank, go back. Now got an F rank, go back and reset it. You now got a D rank, go back and reset it. Finally get an S rank after the 16 times of having to reset it. You have to go from one point to another point to reset it to go back to that same point that you were slashing the enemy. So this, with the ability to kind of gain higher knowledge, is quite helpful. But again, you have to spend 500 pearls to get that sort of the ability to even start gaining better knowledge. Alright, interior, that goes into houses and stuff like that. Again, I will talk about that at a later date, because that goes into something else that will help with making money in the game. But again, it's very competitive, especially with how many people are actually playing this game as well. Mounts and pets. Pets are a need. You need probably one or two. I think the game gives you one straight off the bat, which is handy. These things basically have their own separate skills that they bring to the fight as well. Though they don't actually attack the enemy for you, they will collect loot. They will have a certain sub ability that allows them to, for instance, resist hot weather, for instance. So go to the Desert Fox, press square. Normal skill, loot every 4 seconds based on tier 1 to level 10. Talent is durability reduction and resistance. They've changed that then. Special skill, there you go, resistance to desert diseases. And later on in the game you're going to go into a desert, which means you're going to need this Desert Fox in order to survive the harsh lands of the desert. Wizard Gosby, which has the ability to taunt monsters, which means they're not paying attention to you, they're paying attention to him. You know, he can't attack, or, you know, he doesn't really have health, so they just kind of be wandering away. So if you've got like a large pack of monsters, again, they have the ability to kind of lean away from you. His talent is gain knowledge and has a chance to gain higher knowledge. Again, you can understand why you would need this character in able to play the game. So you can see this game is extremely money grabbing. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't done it. Anyone who knows me in real life knows that I have a serious illness when it comes down to putting money into games. Do it once and leave it for the rest of the game, because there is no point constantly putting hundreds and hundreds of pounds into it, hundreds of dollars into it to get very little. I have probably put in a region of 900 to maybe about £1,000 into the game, and I have dropped the game quite a while back. We're not talking about Warframe, different matter entirely, but I still go and play that game. So with pets, they do also require feeding. If they're not fed, they won't work. And you can have up to 5 pets active at any one point, which is pretty cool, I guess. What else is there from this inventory? So here you go. This is where all of your bits and pieces, awakened weapons, armor bits, accessories, earrings, necklaces, rings, everything all goes in this area here, which will probably be interchanging. Also, as you can see, you're drawn already to the Pearl shop immediately when you go onto the here on the inventory. So you are given this many spaces. You're also giving £407 as well to walk around with. That's pounds is as in weight, not as in money, before you start getting too happy. Alright, so we're going to talk to Eden. So you can see though, when you have selected a quest, it does give you a guide of where you need to go, which is kind of good. But sometimes when it's like collect certain something in this area, it will take you to the area, but after that point you have no idea what's going on. You can also auto run there as well, which is pretty cool. I need to remember how to do that. So there you go, just pressing R3 and it auto tracks to that area, which means if you have got another place to be. Wait, can I decrease window size? L2 and triangle. Okay. Can I? No, that's not what I want to do. Increase type, reply, view chat macro. Okay. There you go. Yeah, we can. Alright, fair enough. I was just being completely dumb. Alright. This part of the quest is Mysterious Ruins. The little shadowy dude requires some love and affection. Yeah, it's not free to play though. It's like you actually have to still buy the game. I think the standard game is like maybe like a tenner or something like that. So you literally just paying for the client to download that. But after that point, it is completely able to do what you want to do. Warframe, I think in certain respects, like another free-to-play game, is done better. You can actually grind for everything. You don't have to buy anything. I'm just extremely impatient, and as a result, if I can get it quicker, I'll put money into the game. That's my own illness. I do require to go to A&A meetings for that, but that will be a different time entirely. Okay, so I need to find out more about the artifact. Look at the artifact. Chat to the artifact. Go into a cutscene. So yes, at first glance of this game, it is incredible. There is loads to go along with, and no sort of tutorial about what you're meant to do, how you're meant to do things. It's pretty much trial by fire. You're meant to look around for your character. You're meant to kind of go, you know, as kind of deep as you can into this sort of game by just trial and error. It's trial by fire. There is nothing you can do about that. Alright, let's just skip this because I'm pretty sure you guys are so interested in what's happening in this game. Yes, no, you're wrong. This game, graphics, astounding. Again though, as I said to you, this is torn directly from a PC port. There is no dulling down for consoles. It was literally ripped immediately and slammed into circulation, which means your PS4 is running at the highest, utmost capacity just to run this game, basically. Before they actually released hot patch after hot patch after hot patch, this game was practically impossible to play. Alright, let's get the quest. Cool. Defeat small tree spirits. Requires so much power. Yeah, it does. It's literally directly from. So apparently, if you do have the Pro version of the PS4, the rendering is better because apparently the processor for the Pro one is done slightly better than it is for this. Okay, so yeah, literally we're rapidly approaching the hour that I said I'll play this for. And we've barely scratched the surface of all of the quests and stuff like that as well. As there is a lot to this game, and you can pretty much do very little. Well, you can play this game for so long and feel like you've done absolutely nothing. The combat is very fluent. It's no jiggery, it's no juttering. There's nothing. It's very, very fluent. And the more skills you end up getting, the better it will become as well. Because you'll be able to combo far cooler things in there. You'll be able to do some jumps and stuff like that, combining different skills together to have different outputs, even by changing the direction of where that like your analog stick as you're attacking will pull off other skills as well. Well, 10 wolves to kill and 7 tree saps. As you see, because literally being on a growth server, my XP is going up drastically. I managed to get to level 5 just by doing the basic few quests that you have got currently right here. So you can get to probably about 15 roughly before the story starts taking off. It's a very slow story, if you can really call it that. It's very much just you doing what you want. This game is literally you living your life on this game. I've got cool. I've got loyalty packages. Nice. Very nice. Alright, cool. Summon up the spirit by pressing. At least this is pressing down the D-pad. You have to go through any finicky sort of bits and pieces trying to get him to pop up. Some enemy types are really aggressive, so you have to do this in a safe space. Oh, they actually give you 3 slots now. Well, that's nice of them. You must have realised that people don't have such an expendable amount of money. Now, I have just shat on this game for about an hour. Don't take it as I am shit-talking this game. This game has an absolutely unbelievable amount of effort that went into it. It is crazy. The graphics, the combat system, the character creation, absolutely phenomenal. Playing with friends can never be more fun. Having so many different character types, releasing certain abilities at the right time to do massive amounts of damage and clearing entire maps in no time. Having, you know, the kind of heart racing effects of dealing with a world boss is absolutely awesome. The PvP aspects is the only thing that kind of lets this game down, is the fact that it tries to grab money is unprecedented. There is nothing that I haven't come across a game that has actually required you to hand over your credit card details, your firstborn child, and even some organs to even start this up. Tech combos from me, yeah. The ability to play with friends, to do quests together, is crazy, because all of you have the same quest of, say, kill 15 of these little forest creatures. One of you out of that 5 can do the quest. As long as you're close together and you can confirm the kill, you get that put onto your character as well, which means you can all jump in together, kill a whole bunch of things, and it really promotes teamwork. As you can see, the graphics, the details put into it are immaculate for a console-based game. The only thing to let it down is a forced PvP aspect, because later on you have no choice but to do that. I guess the choice that they've put into it is, do you want to go to level 50? But the worst part is, if you say no, you don't want to do that quest to get you to level 50, it will constantly keep reminding you with big letters stating that you cannot progress past this point. This XP does not count. And it doesn't just simply remind you that is the case, it puts it quite heavily in the center of your screen, stating that you need to do this quest. You can't progress any further, you can't enjoy the rest of the game, you can't play with your friends, you can't go and experience Medina or anything like that. This quest. But by doing this quest, it forces you into a realm of PvP that you're probably not going to be quite ready for. A lot of these people are playing this game, have played this game from the beginning, and they are grinding to get resources and weapons that generally another person equipped with this, they just have to sneeze at you. Your entire family, your entire family tree, your entire lineage is dead. And there's been a couple of cases when I got to level 50 and I played it through. I got to level 55, I went to this one area, and this wizard jumped out of nowhere, literally off screen, into my screen, hit me with one awakened move, and I died immediately. I have like over 3,000 health and about 59, I think, DP, and he came in and clapped my cheeks before I even had time to blink or indeed react. That's the only thing that I find really upsetting. Another thing I think is quite cool, indeed also on that same kind of note of PvP aspects, is if two opposing clans or two opposing people are grinding for one specific area worth of resources for killing, you know, enemies, trying to gain XP or other such things, you can fight each other for the right to be in that area, because when they die, the respawn time is quite lengthy. So obviously then it takes you to the nearest town, which means they will then have to trek all the way back over there again to do that same thing, to fight for that same thing. Equally, if you're grinding this solo and that happens to you 2 or 3 times, you start losing the will to play the game because you have nothing to fall back on. Big clans in this game will normally have 2 to 3 people in one area grinding. So the moment you start a fight with someone, normally David and Jarvis come straight back in and clap your cheeks, and then they leave. And the worst part is, if they initiate PvP, they get something called bad karma. I'll go into that later on. It's a little, again, it's another depth of the game that is quite difficult to explain. And then you have to also initiate PvP for that to be a thing. Now, if you initiate PvP, but David hasn't initiated PvP, and you're killing an enemy and he's in the way, you attack him. The moment you attack him, you've already gained bad karma. The more statuses you have until he activates the PvP aspect will constantly keep mounting up against you. Too much bad karma and going into cities becomes an absolute impossibility unless you go to outlaw cities. Again, another layer to this game that is explained later on. So yes, this game is incredibly vast. It's not something that you can just pick up and put down and pick up and put down, because you'll be left in the dust. New players, I feel sorry for you. You have so much to try to grasp, so much to try to get a hang of, so much to try and take care of, that you aren't necessarily going to be able to do that the first chance you get in here. And even when you do get into the game and you start understanding the more complex aspects of it, you're not necessarily able to put that into any sort of practice, because these guys are leagues ahead, because they came in with £600 or 600 real life currency, bought a few things, sold that in the marketplace, and made a billion in gold. And they, with that billion in gold, they've bought, you know, all the best gear they could possibly buy, which I find is incredibly shitty in that aspect. So if I wanted to, I can go onto the Pearl Marketplace, I can buy a costume. Now with that costume, as long as I don't open that package, I can then put that costume straight onto the marketplace, the central market, and people will buy that up immediately for, I think it's like 58 or 59 mil. You can also change like how much you can put into the game, how much money you can buy and stuff like that. Trading in this game is non-existent. You can only trade by going into the excuse me, the central marketplace. Alright, so we've got the next quest up. Open the quest window. Alright, so now I have to go back over into the Yonder to find out a bit more about this. So yes, this is a brief kind of understanding about this game, a brief understanding about what Black Desert is. If you guys require more information, let me know. I'll do another tutorial giving you more in-depth stuff about, you know, the characters. I'll even make a character and play through this as well. But I hope this kind of has answered a few questions. If you have got any more other questions, please hit me up. I would be quite happy to help with that as well. As always, thank you very much for indulging me on my wonderful experience here. As always, my name is Raphael Darkheart. I'm going to keep your sword sharp and your wits about you, because it's definitely dangerous on the hunt.